Today I have two guests on Stories Worth Telling, James Thompson and Kia Baird. They are both brave souls. They are running for office in Ledyard, where they both reside, and they've lived there for a little bit. And we are so excited to talk about what is going on the political fronts of Ledyard. You've been door knocking, you've been phone banking, you've been posting on social media. What other tricks do you guys have up your sleeves?
I am learning a lot as I go, especially on the social media front, which I thought I was good at. So it's been exciting.
Kia, I have to say, you have the most adorable posts. I don't know where you find these kids, but you get the cutest kids holding up Kia Baird signs. So yes, sweet. Yes. And if you have a kid on your side, that's worth more points than having an old person, right?
Yeah, smart. Yeah.
Too bad they can't vote. That's the only problem, right?
But they give us a reason to do it, so
absolutely. That's your why, of course. And James, you are running, and you both work social services, which I think is amazing. That just gives you, well, you tell me, how does that influence or enhance your ability to run for office or speak for the people that you would possibly be serving?
Well, that's exactly it. It gives you a good insight about what people care about, what people need in a society. And I work among the homeless population, and those are every bit as much my neighbors as the people that live next door to me in Ledyard. So it gives you a different insight, a different perspective.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. And what about you, Kia? Same thing?
Same, absolutely. I currently I work for Career Resources, which is a 30-plus year organization that has been working with folks to get them back to employment. So whether they are changing careers or if they are unemployed. I actually work on the side of the house that we call the reentry side of the house. So I work with folks who are all have some kind of criminal justice involvement, many of whom have been incarcerated. So I am currently teaching employment skills. We know that interviewing is one of the hardest parts of getting into the workforce, and many times people don't interview very well at all. And imagine you add that to the fact that folks have this criminal history, or maybe they have large gaps in their employment because of their criminal history. So interviewing and writing resumes and applying for jobs can be very nerve-wracking. So that's what we do in our work, is we make sure that people are confident, and then we also make sure that employers know that folks are ready to go back to work, and they have they've changed their lives and they want to give back to society. So,
absolutely. Well, both of you have big hearts. I can tell already, big hearts. And Kia, you and I have known each other for 15, 20 years maybe? Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, we've crossed paths innumerable times probably. So let's just get started. You know, the reason we're here is to talk about the election. So the election's coming up Tuesday, November 4th. I think that Drew, you did a screenshot of it and how you can vote. There's really good information. Early voting starts October 20th, which is just
2 weeks away.
2 weeks.
2 weeks away. It just seems like it's unbelievable. I can't even believe it's the fall already.
Doesn't feel like it.
No. And absentee ballots went out already. And let's see. Well, let's talk about, there it is. Thank you for putting that up, Drew. That's exactly what we wanted to talk about. So for people to know, early voting, the ballots just went out, absentee ballots. You can just stop by Town Hall. What is the address of Town Hall? Do you know off the top of your head? Probably if you live in Ledyard, you know where it is. Is it Main Street?
It's actually Colonel Ledyard Highway.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So people are going to know where to go. And if, just go knock on the door and they'll let you in, and you can do the work.
Yeah, be happy to see you,
Just bring your driver's license or photo ID, whatever government issued photo ID, whatever it is that you have. So that's amazing. But we were talking off the air before we got started that everybody in Ledyard runs every year.
Yes.
And I've never heard of that before. In East Lyme, where I live, we stagger it. Yes. So Board of Ed, it's every 4 years. So then we have people come on who've been on for 2 years, and then people will come on. So people kind of know the ropes a little bit, I guess. So what's the advantage, the way you do it, the way you do it? Do you have an idea on that?
Well, I could tell. I mean, I would think it is definitely strange. It was new. It's new to me. I was surprised. The Board of Ed is a 2-year term. And then when folks come to vote, they can pick up to 9 candidates. 6 of them hopefully will be the majority, either one way or the other. But I too was surprised to learn that there's the potential of turning over the full board every time you have a municipal election like this.
And I'm sure that's happened.
I am sure it's happened at some point, but we do have some really strong candidates that are running for re-election.
Okay.
Which for me as a newbie is very exciting,
Yeah.
because my desire from my first term is really to listen and to learn.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to working with those folks that have that historical knowledge about what they've been working on for the last 2 years, because with any policy change, with any change, it takes a little while. Some things move really fast, some things move slow. So I'm excited for our running mates that have been doing this work to work alongside them, so that we're not starting from scratch. We will not.
Of course not. Oh, you never do. Well, and regardless, you could meet with whoever the incumbents are, or the people, if they don't get voted back in, use them as counselors and
Certainly, yes.
get great ideas, like what were your strategies, what were your hurdles,
Absolutely.
that sort of thing. And what about you, James? What kinds of things are you doing to prepare for this?
Well, I currently sit on the Ledyard Wetlands and Waterways Commission.
And that's an important piece of work.
It is. I've been there just about a year, I think. So that was sort of my foray into the community. I'm on the DTC. I've been attending city council meetings. I've been talking to some of the incumbents, made some very nice relationships with most all of them, actually. Finding out like you said, what their strategies are, what their priorities are, and how we can work together.
Perfect. Yeah. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you, what side of the road you're standing on, if you're a D or an R, unaffiliated or independent or working family party, whatever. The truth is, at the end, you're all working on the same agenda and try to build the same outcomes. So those conversations and those relationships, I think, are so important, and both of you have that nailed.
Absolutely.
For sure.
It's
Absolutely.
so funny too. I mean, it's a small town. We live, like Connecticut is a 169 almost small towns, but so we are really all neighbors, right? As we're walking through neighborhoods, you're kind of seeing folks that you see walking their dogs,
Sure.
or people that you go to church with, or people that we all go to the same CVS and we all go to the same Dunkin' Donuts. So it really is a small town. So we have been working together. Everyone really that we're talking to are literally our neighbors. So that I think is really a benefit of campaigning or doing this work in a small town.
Well, and it's just good, I think, to be on the road, door knocking, seeing what are people saying. Are they happy with the schools? Are they concerned about the budget? What kinds of things are coming up?
Well, they're obviously concerned. Most people that I've spoken to are concerned about the schools. They're concerned about their taxes. That's certainly a huge issue everywhere. They're concerned about the general well-being of the town. Everybody that I've met, everybody that I've spoken to, has such an affection for Ledyard, and that's the one thing that that made me want to run for public office. This place has been very good to me, and public service has always been a huge priority of mine. So I wanted to give something back.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and it's finding out what. It's not so much what I care about as a candidate or what my priorities are. I certainly do have my own priorities, but it's talking to the folks out there and seeing what matters to them.
I agree. When I ran for state rep. I didn't secure that seat. I lost by 200 votes, but that was my mantra, like, let your voice be heard. Like, I want to be your voice for what concerns you might have. So what are you hearing? What's going on?
So, well, one thing that I am hearing is that, many people love the schools in Ledyard, which is very exciting to hear when you knock on someone's door and they have pleasant things to say. I know as a candidate that I want to make sure that the voices that I'm hearing are diverse voices. If folks are choosing not to keep their kids in Ledyard schools, I want to know why. Like I said, I talked to a parent yesterday who was just talking about taxes and making sure that families can afford to live in town, right? And that's how we strengthen our schools for sure. But people are excited. knocking on doors has been extremely exciting, different. It's been a different experience. I'm not sure that people know what to make of me when I knock on the door. I don't. People think I'm younger than I am. People are surprised that it's me sometimes. I promise I'm not that young. People are surprised that it's me. So it's been kind of refreshing. It's been exciting to, I think, meet people. Like James, I do a lot of my work in some of the bigger cities around the area. So to be serving in my town where I actually live is going to actually be different for me. So that too is exciting.
That's
and
really.
Again, I'm meeting my neighbors. Most of us have crossed paths before, but sometimes for the first time.
Do you sing to them?
They don't even know that part yet. They don't even know. I should do like a singing telegram door knocking.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would you could.
I can direct it.
I
and
would
then I'll,
sure.
Well, the two of you have such a rich background with theater and arts, and you could just really pull something.
Interesting off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that idea. So let's see. Early voting's come. You already have that. You're knocking on doors. You're meeting the people. You're hearing what they're concerned about. You want to be their voice. And you don't have an agenda, which
I don't. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have an agenda.
Well, what do you want? What do you want?
I want to increase voter turnout.
Oh,
So-
I was going to bring that up too. How important it is to vote. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. So I want to win. That's fine. Sure, I want to win. I've been making all these TikTok videos. I want them to go to good use. But really, I would love to know that at the end of this campaign, that voter turnout has increased. That us being out knocking on doors and me making silly TikTok videos and things really has changed the perspective for folks that maybe have never voted before, or especially those that never think to vote in a municipal election or an midterm election. That's my agenda. That's my goal, to
That's
really
great.
get people to vote.
To be invested, to know, some people have tons of information, and you'll see them write letters to the editor all the time, or if something gets posted, all these comments that come on the paper.
Yeah.
Then there's some people that don't know that there's an election, so there's that continuum, right, of high information people, and then people, they're smart, maybe they think they're busy. I don't know why, but they really don't pay attention.
Right.
Yeah.
So James, let's talk about the importance of the down ticket. Why is it important to look for the people who are, I don't know, inland wetlands? Do you have some of those positions that are coming open as well?
No, that's actually appointed.
Oh, okay.
So, they're always looking for people who would be interested in serving on a commission. We talked about this earlier before the show, that politics is local. Mm-hmm. This is our town. Mm-hmm. And I want people to understand that their voice matters. And that's why we're seeking to represent them. The down ticket races, the way that it's set up, it's very unusual to have an election in a staggered year like this. Mm-hmm. A lot of folks turn out for the presidentials. A lot of folks turn out for the midterms. Not so many people turn out for the down tickets. And I think that is every bit as important, because again, politics is right here.
Politics matters.
It's on Main Street. It's in our grocery stores. It's in the farmers market. It is all of us together. So
it's so important.
Yeah.
Okay. And with the Board of Education, we are saying that you're hearing just good things. But what about the arts? Are you hoping that maybe there might be a little bit more artistic venues or opportunities going on? Or
Well, again, the arts is really one of the jewels of Ledyard school system. Directly, I say that I'm a graduate of Ledyard High School, but I'm also very much a graduate of the music department there. That it's either you're into VOAG, whatever that part, which I'm obviously not that knowledgeable about the animals and all of that, or you were part of the music and the arts department, and I was part of the arts department. So that's always been a priority, but just across the country, whenever there are budget constraints, whenever there are whenever we're talking about dollars, there's always the risk that arts funding gets cut. So it absolutely is a priority of mine to make sure that we're making sure that arts education is always a priority, because arts is the reason many students come to school every day, right? You get them to school because they have choir, they have drama, they have band, and then they're able to get the rest of the education because of that. So things like that, things that bring kids joy, get kids excited, those are the things that we need to make sure are always a priority for sure.
I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today, and they said that there's still some hangover, for lack of a better word, from COVID, from educational experiences during COVID, some trauma maybe, or some gaps in their education, or have you heard anything around that line?
Well,
or
I mean,
like,
we hear
scores are down a little bit.
COVID students.
Yes.
We know. I mean, it was an impact on the grown-ups, right? It was a huge impact, a huge trauma on the grown-ups, and we know that same thing, the learning loss and things like that, the loss of connection. That a lot of students are seeing, just the heightened anxiety that students have.
Very much so.
Not just because of COVID, but because of COVID and mass shootings and practice lockdowns and things that our students are having to experience now. So we know that our students are in need. And I think one of the things that's going to be very important for the Board of Education is to listen to parents, but also to listen to teachers, right? Because, teachers spend a lot of time with their kids, right? So we want to make sure that teachers have the resources that they need, that teachers, have the pulse of what students need, and they feel supported by their board, they feel supported by their town council, and their community as a whole.
Now tell me about your superintendent. I don't know who it is. How long has he or she been there?
Jay Hartling, has been there. He told me this maybe 3 days ago. I want to say 2008, maybe he
so
came
it's a few
to Ledyard.
years.
He's been here long enough for to be able to make some impact for sure. I think he's the superintendent, so if anything goes wrong, there are people that are going to talk about him. So I'm excited to learn more about him, meet with him, work with him. He and I actually spoke, and I talked about the importance of making sure that schools are safe for everyone.
Absolutely.
And that is in the very literal sense of safety, but also in the sense of belonging, right? When I was in Ledyard schools, it was not very diverse. He shared with me that diversity of students ethnically and culturally has grown over 10% in the last 20 years or so since I've been out of school, but 25. But I want to make sure that families feel that, right? That families understand that, and again, that teachers are empowered to celebrate that diversity, and that kids feel really safe, celebrated in their schools. So I'm excited to work with the superintendent and make sure that the board is a resource for him as well as it is for the teachers.
Well, you need to support the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, the director of curriculum, the financial, all of those people that trickle down. And just because they have rough days. I was on the inside working as a speech pathologist in the school system, and now I'm on the Board of Ed. So you understand both sides of it, that it's really important to give them that support. So
Absolutely. I was a former school teacher in Florida.
Really? What was your subject area?
I started off teaching honors ELA,
Nice.
English Lit, and then I taught theater my last 4 years there. The 2019-2020 school year was my first year as a classroom teacher.
Oh boy.
So while I was learning how to, classroom management, all the basics about that, all of a sudden we went on spring break and didn't come home.
Oh.
So then I had to learn how to be an online teacher.
And that was in Florida?
That was in Florida. Yes.
Okay.
So unfortunately, you saw a lot of that blowback. Kids who fall behind, kids who maybe who don't have access to Wi-Fi at home, so they're having to sit in the parking lot of a McDonald's to do their homework, to have their Zoom sessions.
Wow.
So it was very traumatic. It was very traumatic for the students, the families, who can't afford, in a lot of times, childcare. So,
Well, I think it was really a stretch for the parents, the adults, and then they were supposed to go to work, whether it was remote or whatever. They still had a job to do, and
Sure.
then they had to help
Sure.
with the education of their kids. So they were definitely multitasking and being stretched.
I'm sure a lot of parents have had those hard math homework nights.
oh, certainly. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, and you touched on it. Safety is such a huge issue. I remember the first time I was subbing at the time before I became my own classroom teacher. I had the unfortunate and very sad task of conducting an Alice drill to a classroom full of first graders. And when they're asking you, why are we doing this?
know.
And you have to find a delicate way of putting it.
I know.
That there's a lot of bad out there. And yeah, it was a very, very sobering moment.
yeah, one of my Facebook friends posted a couple of weeks ago that it was open house night at her school, and her daughter showed her the place where she's supposed to hide if they had a lockdown. So you remember, you go to open house and you're like, this is my cubby, and this is where my art project is, and she also said, Mommy, this is where I hide when we have a lockdown.
You know, and I think parents need to hear that too, because I don't think we necessarily are aware of some of that. It's trauma-inducing, right? What goes
Certainly,
on.
yes.
I just had a conversation with Earl Bloodworth, and he's the new executive director for Connecticut Against Gun Violence, and he was telling me that statistically there's a gun in every house in Connecticut. We have as many guns in Connecticut as we have residents. And people don't necessarily talk about, to your point, safety and safe storage and what goes on with those drills. I remember as a kid worrying about, this shows my age, the Russians and being bombed and well, hurricanes too, or tornadoes in Nebraska is where I'm from.
Duck and cover.
Oh, duck and cover, yeah. So, what about
Lots of work to do.
a lot of work to do, but just I think like your personas are just so perfect for the jobs that you're attempting to achieve or be voted in for, because you are listeners. You both, I can see that in both of you, and you listen with your heart. You just don't take in the facts. You're like really processing at a deeper level. So I appreciate that. But I just lost track. So I'm not supposed to do that.
No, we'll just remind people that Election Day is November 4th.
November 4th coming up, vote, and make a plan for voting is the other thing. Oh, thank you, Drew, put that up again. Make a plan for voting, go with a friend. You could actually use people. How many polling offices, stations are there in Ledyard? Is there just the one?
No, well, there's the one for early voting, and then folks can go to their local voting sites on Election Day.
Okay, okay. But be a poll stander, right? Get involved.
Sure.
Ask how they can help you, because, and then, write letters to the editor, because the date on that, I think, is the 15th. You can't write anything past in just a few more days. So, sign waving,
Yes.
Be out there.
Let me put my sign in your yard. That's the one thing that I didn't realize how lovely it was. I'd ask friends that lived in town if they would host signs for us. They've been so gracious to host signs for us. I did want to say that if folks want both of our bios and the other candidates that we are running along with, they can go to ledyardtc.com to see all of our bios, learn a little bit about all of us, James's long resume of all the cool things that he's done. So Ledyard DTC, say that 3 times fast, .com to read all of our bios, because we are running as a slate together. So
Nice.
we're running together.
So top line A.
Yep.
There you go, yeah.
Are we A?
Are we? That's a good question.
Well, you should be, because our governor is a Democrat.
Okay,
so
is that
that's
how
So it
that
would be-
works?
it
So
would be
that's
A,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. I think yes, row A.
Row
Yep.
A,
Row
that's
A.
it.
Yes, but excited.
And I have to say, just on a personal level, I've had the privilege of reading every bio for people running for town council and Board of Ed. we've got some really fascinating people on the ticket.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed by the wealth of experience that all of these folks are bringing in their own backgrounds, their own personal stories. I think it's a remarkable
Right.
thing.
Well, knowing people's why, I think is really important. And I think also the collegiality that will come with you being in those positions is really important,
Yeah.
because you will work together, you will work as a team, you will amplify, and that energy will build and make a better, because you don't want, if somebody says something, don't listen to them, just wait until somebody else says something. You don't want that
Yes.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've been building, I think, some of those connections even in the campaigning. So
I'm
we've
sure.
been spending a lot
Oh,
of
sure.
time
Yeah.
together even during the campaign, which is really great.
Perfect.
And I think to your point, it's an eclectic group of
really
folks
is.
that are running.
Yep.
And again, I think that is a testament to this really local, smaller town election, because you don't see a lot of career politicians running.
No.
You really see folks that, like I said, are your neighbors that are running, that have had the same experiences that you've had, that love the town.
Nice.
And are doing it because they love the town.
Well, Board
which
of
is
Ed,
great.
it's complete volunteer. You don't
Yeah.
get a penny for it, but you spend time and
Yeah.
energy doing
Yeah.
it. Is there, do you get some,
No, I don't believe there's a financial compensation for
in
town
East
council.
Lyme there is.
Is there?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
it's not significant for the amount of time that you put in, but.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, you knew that. Nobody does this for the money,
No.
right?
No,
Nobody does
no.
it for the money.
Yes.
You do it because you want to make a difference.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. You've been just amazing guests, bright shining stars in Ledyard, and sharing your passion, sharing your dreams, sharing your hopes for the future. And thank you for being my guest today. I
been
really
a pleasure.
appreciate
Thank
it.
Thank you
you.
for having us.
Thank you.